Ever since I was a little child, I wanted to visit this city. I couldn't stop thinking about it. And finally, already a grown up, I went there. I had only 24 hours to explore the city. This place was London. It all started in middle school. In my English classes in Russia, that's where I grew up, we would discuss the English culture, its history, political situation, and places of interest. In my mind, the word London was associated with the Big Ben, the Tower of London, the Buckingham Palace, the Tower Bridge. All those places of interest spread out all over the city. And of course, there was the royal family. This was a very special subject that took a lot of my attention during my school years. At the age of 12, I was courageous enough, and perhaps naive, to write a letter to Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, expressing my interest in her family affairs and asking her to send me some information about the royal family. The address that I put on the envelope was as simple as Queen Elizabeth II, Buckingham Palace, London, UK. Surprisingly, my letter reached its recipient, and a couple of months later, I received a package in the mail. Enclosed in the package was a letter from the Queen, a book about the royal family, and a huge map, a family tree, that listed all English kings and queens. I quickly became a star at school, for just about a month or so, but still. And I think a number of other kids decided to write their own letters to the Queen, hoping to get something from her. But I'm not sure exactly where it took them. Another thing that I inevitably think of when somebody mentions the word London is the great detective, Mr. Sherlock Holmes, and his companion, Dr. Watson. The detective's address was well known, 221B Baker Street. Originally, it was just a fictional address. There was no house number 221B in the Baker Street. But now, it's there. As a kid, I read book after book about the detective's investigations. In fact, these two fictional characters became so popular in Russia that several movies were released there depicting their adventures.
А миссис Хадсон хотела устроить здесь ваш музей.
Музей? Рановато.
And then I visited the Westminster Abbey where the British kings get married, and the Big Ben, and the famous Tower of London that used to be a prison and now is a museum. That's where cruel King Henry VIII had one of his wives, and I think he had like 5 of them. So he had one of his wives, Anne Boleyn, beheaded there. And I visited the beautiful Tower Bridge, truly the symbol of London. And I looked at the waters of the Thames, the Father Thames as the Londoners call it. And of course, I couldn't miss the Speaker's Corner. In the Hyde Park, where any passerby can just stand up and begin speaking about anything that they want to share with the world.
They won't give up! They won't turn away from their faith!
I saw a multitude of things that described the city in much greater detail than I had previously known about it. And then the 24 hours were over. But during these hours, my childhood dream became a reality.